This video was brought to you by Yamaha Proven Off-Road ATVs and side-by-side vehicles.
Hey ArcheryTalk, this is Lucas, and today we're going to do kind of an early review, first impressions review of the Obsession Lawless. This is Obsession's speed bow for 2019. The specs of this bow are a speed rating up to 370 feet per second. We'll get into that a little bit later. A brace height of about 5 1/8 inches and a axle to axle length of 32 3/4 inches. I've got this bow set with 29.5 inch mods, and it's coming in about 29 3/4, and I've got the draw weight maxed out at 70 pounds. This bow, compared to the Fixation 6XP I had last year, I would say that bow probably drew a little bit smoother than this one does, which I mean makes sense. It came in with a slightly slower IBO, a slightly more generous brace height, but this bow still doesn't feel like a kind of pull your shoulder out full on speed bow. It's relatively smooth at the front. It's got a bit of a hump once you get into the wall, but overall the draw cycle is okay for a speed bow. It's not, this is not what a 335 foot a second IBO bow is going to feel like. So don't get it twisted. It's still, you got to pay for the speed somewhere, and you're going to pay for it a little bit in the draw cycle. But overall it's a relatively smooth pull. And after the shot, I'm actually seeing a little bit less vibration than I got last year out of the Fixation. It's got a little bit of residual kind of ring, but that could be easily cleared up with a stabilizer, which I would put on this bow when I'm going to hunt with it anyway. But because I'm testing a bunch of bows at one time, I usually don't move a stabilizer from bow to bow, just to make my life easier. One issue I have with this bow right off the bat is the little screws kind of holding on the modules were coming loose no matter how hard I torqued them down. So eventually I just had to put on a little bit of blue Loctite and let that sit for 24 hours. Now it's been going fine ever since. I have not had one rattle loose since, but it was driving me a little bit crazy at the beginning. But again, fortunately it worked. It's an easy fix. Beyond that, the center shot on this bow came out pretty good from the factory. I didn't have to play with spacers, didn't have to move any shims around or anything like that. The bow was lined up pretty nice right from the get-go. I got the rest in there at about 13/16, and I'm getting a pretty good tear through paper with my arrows. I ran this through the chronograph. I did it first with my gold tip kinetic chaos arrows. These are my go-to hunting arrows. I've got these weighing in at about 460 to 462 grains, and I saw speeds with my setup of around 300 to 301 feet per second. It was pretty consistent at that speed with the chrono results, which I was happy about. And that's that's actually more speed than I would likely want to shoot with a fixed blade broadhead anyway. I would like to have my fixed heads in there around 280, 285 on the high end. So I would actually probably knock this down a few pounds of draw weight with these arrows to get it to shoot the speed I would feel comfortable with. Unless I can get the fixies to fly, great. I've just not had great experience with arrows going 300 feet a second with a fixed blade head. After I shot that one, I moved to my FITA weight arrow, which is another gold tip. This is the Platinum Pierce, and this one is weighing in at 350 grains. So this is the exact FITA weight. My draw length is a little short, obviously for FITA spec, and I've got weight on the string with a D-loop and a peep, and the serving to tie those things in. So I would guess another 20 grains on the string. So that's going to slow it down a few feet a second as well. But all told, I saw with my setup speeds in around the mid 345-ish feet per second, 344, 345, 346, speeds like that. That is significantly lower than 370. But I'm overall relatively happy with that. I was kind of hoping to sneak over the 350 range with this bow, but we'll see. To be fair, the bow is tuned to my heavier arrows right now, so if I retune it for the lighter arrows, maybe that'll make a difference. But I only shoot those arrows for the chrono test, so I'm not going to really go crazy on that. This is just to give you a general idea of what I was getting. But overall, I'm happier with the bow than I really figured I would be. I've not shot a lot of super short brace height bows that I like, although I've had a couple this year that I thought were pretty nice. The Expedition Mako was really nice. I can't wait to spend a little more time with that. This bow is nice. Again, but you're just going to pay for that speed somewhere. I've not had any trouble with string slap, with the hit in my sleeves or anything like that. I would imagine if I'm shooting big, bulky coats, because I hunt up north, it might be a problem. I'm not going to tell you that it is right now until I get out there and try it myself in that situation, but it's something to consider. That's why, 6.5-inch brace height is kind of my preferred mode. I can get away with 6 pretty well. I was shooting a Matthews Triax this year in the woods with a lot of layers on it, and I didn't have any trouble, and that's a 6-inch brace height bow. So the 5 might be 5 1/8 on the Lawless might work well. Overall, it's my early impressions are pretty strong. I'm looking forward to spending a little more time with this bow, and you can look for some more videos down the road. I'll have a big shootout with all of our 2019 hunting bows, probably in the summer. So look for that. And Archery Talk, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.